Now, I've recorded with some bad decks, some heinous decks, some decks that never should have seen the light of day. But today's deck, well, it might be the piece de resistance of this channel. Hello folks, Phil Gallagher aka ThrabenU here for another Legacy video, and today Michael Levine has asked me to play Slime Against Humanity. This is a really neat card because you can have any number of cards named Slime Against Humanity in your deck. And this is going back to the Relentless Rats style cards where you get to just play a deck absolutely full of these. We're going to be shooting for, I don't know, picking a random number, 24 of these today. So how this card works is not actually intuitive, and I'm re-recording this deck tech because I messed it up the first time around. So you create a 0/0 green ooze creature token with trample. Put X +1/+1 counters on it, where X is 2 plus the total number of cards you own in exile and in your graveyard that are oozes or named Slimed Against Humanity. What I didn't realize the first time around is that this actually counts the Slime Against Humanity that you cast. So the first one of these you cast produces a 3/3. And when I read this card, I thought it was going to be a 2/2, but it's actually a 3/3. And then for every one you own from there, in exile or in your graveyard, you scale it up by 1. So you get a 3/3, a 4/4, a 5/5, and so on. But that's assuming no shenanigans. And we are a shenanigans channel for sure. Enter Serum Powder. Anytime you could mulligan and Serum Powder is in your hand, you may exile all the cards from your hand and then draw that many cards. So imagine you have an opening hand with 3 Slime Against Humanities. You send those to exile with Serum Powder, and then you keep your hand from there. Your Slime Against Humanities start up scaling by 3 more. So instead of starting with a 3/3, you start with a 6/6. Or if you chain together multiple Serum Powders, you can be starting with an 8/8, a 12/12 even theoretically, and it can actually get pretty wild. So today we are absolutely playing a meme deck list, but let me be clear, what we're doing is going to be Legacy power level. This is our base deck list here. So we have 24 copies of Slime Against Humanity. And essentially, our deck from there is 24 lands, 8 lock pieces, and the Serum Powders. Just a thing of beauty. This deck knows what it is trying to do, and it does it. Just full stop. This is a Slime Against Humanity deck list. We have a little bit of Stompy elements. You know, you can call this Slimy Stompy, Slime Stompy. Whatever. But generally speaking, the plan is create a large stream of oozes that just like Nickelodeon just gack slime your opponent and get them dead. And we are not looking for a long game because we don't have a lot of interaction. We barely have any interaction. We are looking to get our opponents dead. The sideboard, generally speaking, exists to get us to like turn 3 or turn 4 where our opponent will be dead. We have a lot of graveyard hate here. We have some other free interaction versus various combo and artifact-based decks. And we have Collector Oof, which can hit decks like Painter and 8-Cast incredibly hard. So essentially, we are stepping into the ring with the intention of punching our opponent in the face with our little oozy pseudopod. And if that doesn't work, we accept death. And these sideboard cards give us another haymaker that is relevant in certain matchups, but we're not going to have a lot of flexibility in sideboarding. So I think that's most of what I have to say here. If you, say, need 24 copies of Slime Against Humanity so you can try this one out at your local event, consider checking out toamagic.com. They offer free shipping, so if you need to order a pile of commons like this is a great way to do that, and they also have power, dual lands, all the stuff you could need as an Eternal Gamer. Their link is down below in the video description, and promo code ThrabenU will save you 5% on your order. With that being said, it is slime time. Let's battle. There comes a time in every man's life where he has to decide Do I keep the reasonable slime against humanity hand, or do I just powder? I think I just powder. How many of those are in exile? 1, 2, 3, 4? That's a big ooze. I think we're keeping this. I would really like a persistent green source, but this is the theoretical dream, right? Goblin? Alright, so we can ignore this shit now. This shit doesn't matter. It is all about this slime right here. Game 1, turn 1, 6/6. Fuck yeah. Sticker Goblin, Muxus. Muxus dumps in broadside bombardiers. Alright, we've got a shock and a sack. I presume this is the Sticker Goblin. It is. Medium roll for a matron. Oh, sorry, quick correction from the deck tech. It's 2 plus the number of these slimy cards, so it scales up by 1 every time, not by 2 every time. It's a Skirk. Alright, opponent's passing the turn. I need another green source to continue to make oozes. I think I'm crashing in. I don't think I'm winning by sitting back without the other land drop here. And I don't think this is worth paying life for. Definitely worried about Muxus. This is 3. It's a new matron. This is weird, because my opponent could have attacked for 4 first before doing this. So they potentially just missed damage. I'm not quite sure where my opponent's head is at in terms of like decision making here. Another slime against humanity, which is notably not a green source. Now this thing does trample, but presumably I just die from 16 here, right? So Sticker Goblin plus onboard Skirk always gets my opponent to 6. There's the Muxus. That's a lot of dudes. Yeah, so my opponent can just give haste with Battlecry Goblin by sacrificing 2 things with Skirk, and then I haven't counted, but I assume that this is just lethal. Like beginning of combat, Rabble Master triggers, sack, Battlecry Goblin activates, swing out. Or we can do it this way. It's another Name Sticker Goblin. It high rolls. And then 3 Battlecry Goblin triggers certainly kills me. I'm just curious about what the damage total is. Well, I'm at negative 47, so that was like 60 damage, 63 damage, something like that. That's pretty sweet. I, like, probably legitimately win that game if I draw a green source to play another slime. But I'm not sure if my opponent was playing optimally. Chalice and Trinisphere are both very bad. It's not like this other stuff is good, though. I don't think I bring a Collector Roof because it shuts off my Chrome Mox. I think I will play Endurance over either Chalice or Trinisphere. Neither one is really acceptable. I'm going to pull some Trinispheres. I could go real deep on something like Mindbreak Trap. That's also incredibly fringe. We'll Serum Powder this hand. Alright. This just doesn't physically have enough mana. This only has 2 starting mana. This is a regular mulligan. This is a keep, right? So, turn 1 slime, turn 2 slime, maybe endurance later. This is fine. I'm gonna get rid of Trinisphere. So we Spirit Guide this. We have a 4/4. You skirkin'? You're not skirkin'. We got more slime. So this is 4 damage. This is then 9 damage. This is going to be lethal in 3 attack steps. I could just die right here though. Like let's not get too excited, but like this is a legacy power level curve for sure. I assume my opponent's getting Name Sticker Goblin. Chrome Mox doesn't really do a lot here. Send him. Opponent's at 5. And I'll slime. Alright, am I dead? Like I've done some Ancient Tomb damage to myself. Opponent's at 3. They're almost certainly not surviving a crack from 3 tramplers of this size. They need like another Name Sticker Goblin to high roll here. They don't. They low roll. They never got to 6. God damn it. Skirk is fine. Muxus is not fine. Am I dead? So Skirk sacks 2 creatures to give everything haste. So there's the 2, there's the haste. Everything crashes in, and we'll see if this maths to me being dead or not. This doesn't trample. If I block this, 8, 9, 10, 13, 16, 19, yeah. So even if I had not played another creature, I'm still just very dead here. That's kind of disappointing. But we did slime. We certainly did slime. Today's video is sponsored by Moxfield.com, and honestly, they're just the best at what they do. If you need to keep your deck lists online, this is the way to do it. They have all sorts of different viewing options. You can condense that text if you like things to be tight. You can make them visual grids. You can put them in stacks. You've got all sorts of different ways to kind of view and visualize your deck lists, and they also have some really cool functionality, like allowing you to see playtest hands and even fully playtest your decks. So check them out. So this is like a very reasonable hand that just plays slime into slime into slime. But we can start with 3 slimes in exile. So I think we're supposed to do that. What if we start with 6 slimes in exile? Okay, so now I Chrome Mox Imprint Spirit Guide. Opponent has said that's spicy. So I think we're keeping this one. I have 14 cards in exile already. Please don't wasteland me, though. My poor heart cannot take it. Imprint. And turn 1, 8/8. Hey, that's not wasteland. This is tempting. But I think I just keep the pressure up. Like, this is just 8 damage this turn. And 17 on the attack next turn. Yes. Yes. We've done it. So the Flagstones tells us that our opponent is on Elvish Reclaimer and probably a Dark Depths style strategy. Unfortunately, kind of looking at the cards that we have here, not a lot of these are going to do stuff and things. Chalice is mid. Trinisphere is mid. Like, I think we are on the aggro beatdown plan. I think I'm going to go 3 of these in for 3 Trinispheres and call that good. So I think this one is just a straight up mulligan. So now we probably powder these into exile. What do I want to redraw of these? I want to redraw one of these 2 here. Probably the city, but it's close. I don't know, the Elvish Spirit Guide lets me turn 1. Let's put this back. So I can Chrome Mox, Imprint, Slime, play city, and then have 2 slimes in a row with 3 slimes in exile. This is fine. Honestly, it's probably good. It's probably not fine. It's probably good. Yep. Well, we know what we're about. Imprint slime and cast slime. A modest 6/6 slime. Riot Arbor or something else. How dare you? I will use that ability to put a forest into play tapped. So notably, I'm not playing that land, so I don't have to sacrifice City of Traders here. I'm gonna need a little more gas off the top. What are we looking for? I think we're looking for Slime Against Humanity, if I were to guess. I could go 1, 2, 3, play this. 1, 2, 3, play this. I just kind of end up in the same place. Slime. I'm just gonna cast the Serum Powder next turn if I miss out on drawing a Slime Against Humanity. So the bad news is, I'm gonna get clocked real fast. You may Thoughtseize me. Like, that's actually probably actively good for me. That 2 life might be relevant. An immediate green sun. Just for fair creatures. 7? Opponent's at 10. I'm gonna cast this critter. We are on the fair amounts of damage might matter plan. So my opponent activates this, gets a Dark Depths. The Dark Depths currently doesn't tap for mana. There's not a Yavimaya in play. The land from this enters tapped. I might be okay, but there could be some weird utility land here that just messes with me. 3. Slime. 8/8. Am I missing something? That's a Dark Depths. Yeah, okay. So they didn't go turbo, making the Merit Lage as quickly as possible. Can I get myself out of this? You've got a 20/20. So the 20/20 blocks the 8/8. They throw both in front of these, and I think I die. Let's make my opponent do combat math correctly, though. And remember that these oozes have trample. Shit, they figured it out. I got. They are at 1. I was correct in my estimation that individual points of life would matter. I, however, underestimated just how true that really would be. My body is ready. Dead. We'll try again. Chalice on 1 might be a little better than I thought it would be. I don't think I collect a roof. I don't think I collect a roof unless it's really good, because, like, From Moxie is really strong for my deck. So I could just play slime into slime into slime into slime. Is this aggressive enough? Like, do I fish a little bit for a Serum Powder? I think I fish a little bit for a Serum Powder. Did not find it. I'll go to 5. On 5, I'll keep this. This is essentially the same strength as my original opening hand. We still get to slime on 1. So we have guaranteed slime on turn 1 and turn 2. We don't have it guaranteed on turn 3, I think, like we would have had with... How do I report a hate crime on Magic Online? Does anyone know? It's honestly kind of funny. Alright, I got my turn 1 Delver of Secrets. Let's go, buddy. If they just path me here, I have a couple copies of Endurance left in the deck to win with. I will throw in the towel. GG's, opponent. Alright. Let's mulligan this one. Turn 1 Chalice, turn 2 Slime, turn 3 Slime. I think I'm in for this. I think I'm gonna get rid of the Trinisphere. Oh? Oh, okay. I'm a little less excited. This is probably just some sort of Hogak pile. Oh, okay. Maybe I'm excited again. I think it's worth 2 life to Chalice. Like, at the very least, there's more Stitcher suppliers in there. What's the draw to doing this stuff? Oh no. Cavern of Souls. Oh. Oh. This is spicy. Okay. Am I just gonna get the Gak? Fuck, I just got the Gak. My opponent just crashes in for 10 next turn. I make a 3/3 slime? Fuck, I'm fucking dead. Wow. So endurances and surgicals are reasonable. I think Trinisphere is slow. How do I feel about Chalice? Chalice is awkward against Cavern. I think I'm going to board out 2 and keep 2. Not like we want to board out any slime against humanity or anything, right? We'll Serum Powder this hand. We'll Serum Powder this hand. This does not have enough mana. We'll regular mulligan this one. This is a keep. I'm gonna keep this and pitch 1 Ancient Tomb. How many? All right, we got a handful in exile. Cabal Therapy naming slime against humanity is like incredibly funny. Putrid Imp. Ooh. Okay. Now this is cool. I'm like surprisingly not scared of this though. Oh, we're still going. And a hollow one. Okay. I mean, that hand fucks. Like, that's quite good. But I have a big boy. I produced a 6/6 on turn 1. My opponent produced, what, 4, 8, 9, 10, 11-ish power, depending on how you want to do the math for this. Stitcher's Supplier? Oof is boarded in. So I'll block here. Take a good amount of damage. The flying here is one of the scarier things. So I am sliming. If I attack for 6, my opponent goes to 14. And then I have 13 next turn. That's unfortunate. Math is not quite mathin'. I'm going to hold back, which I don't think favors me. Another Stitcher's Supplier. Kataki. Yeah, the Chalice and the Trinispheres. Maybe not the safest here. Although it does look like 1-drops are very central to my opponent's whole gig. Okay. It's bad if they find Hogak. Otherwise, I think I'm okay with it. Hogak and Poxwalkers. Oh. Without another Slime Against Humanity to play, though, I think I've just got to do it and risk the chance. Do I even lose to that Hogak? Like, I don't think I'm dead to an alpha. The Death Touch here is a pain in the ass. Like, the Death Touch here and the Evasion here are the most annoying things right now. I presumably do that block. Presumably do this block. I block this. 3, 6, 7, 8, 9. What about this block? 3, 4, 5, 6, 7? 3, 4. Straight trade. Straight trade. This dies. I'm alive. Not in a great position. Okay. So one of the lizards gets pumped. I am at 2. And I die to another alpha, unfortunately. That was closer than expected. Like, I thought we came out of the gates really strong that time. GG's, though. All right. We're going to powder this hand. Send some slimes to exile. We're going to powder this hand. Send some slimes to exile. You know what I'm going to say. We're going to powder this hand. Send some slimes to exile. How big is this one? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 of them. I'll keep this 7. Unsure if I play Chalice on turn 1. Like, I don't really hate from Mox, Imprint, Spirit Guide, City, or rather, Forest, Chalice on 1. That's significantly better versus a Wasteland or Chrome Mox getting destroyed. Also, I have 32 cards in library right now. Just throwing out a number. Goblins. Unfortunately, that probably just means I play Slime Against Humanity on turn 1. And hopefully every turn thereafter. Spirit Guide. City. Slime. 11-11. We're going to play a Chalice on 0. It's unlikely to matter. But if it does, it could be game winning. What do you do against a turn 1 11-11 Trampler? Ooh, that's some spice. A Goblin Crater Maker. Sure. 11U? All right, opponent's going to soak up 2 points of damage. Slime. I think Slime is better than Chalice. It's kind of close, I guess. Like, this is a huge thing against just slamming a Chalice. It's got to be Name Sticker Goblin into something crazy. Yeah, they're dead. Yeah, like, you can have that stuff. But that was a crazy start on our end. I think we boarded in Endurance as some bodies before and got rid of Trinispheres. Maybe Oof being green to imprint under a Chrome Mox is better than playing a Trinisphere here. Like, maybe the same is true of like all of those. Like, I treat Oof as a green card for Chrome Mox, not as a card that I actually intend to cast. That is, I guess, reasonable. This hand doesn't do anything. This is a regular old mulligan. This hand doesn't really do anything either. We'll go to 5. We did not hit any Serum Powders here. So I could keep a turn 1 3/3 and hope to top deck more. Probably this, right? We're just not playing more lands, just... Alright. I think we're unhappy about it, but I'm not sure that it makes sense to go deeper here. Alright, the Chrome Mox means that my opponent can make a real play this turn. This could be a Name Sticker Goblin. Ooh. It is. Oh, it's the full 6. Fuck. Okay, yeah, that was fine. That was fine. I think we can pretty much concede to that. Like, this just Battlecry Goblin activates off this Name Sticker Goblin trigger. I guess I'll wait for this to resolve to see if there's some super spicy goblin that they tutor up. Now it's just broadside. And they high rolled a 6 the second time. Alright, you goldfished me, I goldfished you. Would I ever cast this? Maybe I would never cast this and I'll do this. Not that I'm really happy about those either. So we'll send some of these to exile. This is a mediocre hand. I would like to play a slime on turn 1. Instead, I would like to play a slime on turn 1, so we'll Serum Powder this. Sends a lot of them to exile. Powder. We'll put the mana source back in the deck. So this is turn 1 slime, land drop, turn 2 slime. This is perfectly fine. Here we go. So we've got an 8/8. Do you have the red? Chalice doesn't matter. Could be broadside food a little bit later on. This is great. I am threatening lethal on the next attack step. My opponent's at 12. Like, I take some damage from my own Ancient Tombs. Like, I can die. Namesticker Goblin high roll into Muxus does stuff. Here it is. That's the 3rd high roll in a row. That's a little frustrating. That's a broadside. Opponent hits 5 mana off the new Namesticker Goblin. Is there a haste enabler? No. So my opponent can attack with broadside, Muxus, throw at the 8/8 ooze, but then be dead to the 9/9 ooze attacking. So this is menace, so I can't block, obviously. My opponent throws the Muxus to kill one of these. So I'll swing in. My opponent has to soak up 1. Steal 7 to them. So if they throw Trinisphere, they have 2, 4, not lethal. I think I am supposed to play another slime against humanity. It costs me 2 life, but I think it means that I'm not... I think the extra body means that my opponent cannot make it through the next turn, just full stop. I'll block the one that I can block. My opponent will presumably Lava Axe me. Yep. I'm at 5. I don't know how you survive 19 points of damage. Another Trinisphere. We beat the Muxus. Good guys win. Bad guys lose. In a weird twist of fate, this is a Serum Powder hand that does not have a slime against humanity. This one does, though. We'll send some to exile. And this is a perfectly fine keep after that. We got a handful of these in exile. We're getting griefed. What if they take my slime against humanity? No, they're going for my fast mana. They're just going to then reanimate the grief and take Elvish Spirit Guide. That's what they did. We'll see whether or not that ends up being the correct decision as this game goes along. At this time, without knowing their hand, it is unclear to me whether or not this is better than just taking 2 of the slime against humanities and hoping the top of my deck is kind of weak. Like, essentially, they get 3 points of damage in by taking the line that they took. This is neat. With Active Grief and Ancient Tomb, I'm not sure that it makes sense to play Trinisphere. Like, I think I just throw a 6/6, 7/7, and then 8/8 at my opponent and call that good enough. So that's no immediate play that removes one of these. Wasteland's fine, I have another land. I'm fine taking the damage from Grief. We'll just get right back in the red zone. My opponent is at 10, facing down theoretical lethal. Hot damn. So these are probably reasonable. These are probably reasonable. The Chalices and Trinispheres are probably kind of mid. I can't cut everything. I think I'm going to keep a couple of Trinispheres over Chalice. If my opponent does not start the game with like a Grief or a Troll in play on turn 1, a lock piece is totally fine. But neither one of them is particularly strong when my opponent is on the play. We're going to powder this. I want to say that this is good enough. I'm not going to say that this is good. I'm going to say that this is good enough. I'm not exactly sure how to play this hand. I'm not going to spend any mental energy thinking about it, though, until I see whether or not I'm getting, like, Thought Seized or Griefed on turn 1. Here we go. Thought Seize me. I lose the slime. Bowmasters is fine. Like, that's not particularly good against me. Serum Powder's not great. I think I'm just going to cast a turn 2 Endurance sort of awkwardly and not Trinisphere my opponent. Unsure as to whether or not that's correct. But this lets me hold up pitchcast endurance in the short term, while then playing something that stabilizes the board. If I play the Trinisphere on turn 1, I give up green for endurance. And some small portion of the time I just whiff on draws and die to this. Second land drop into another Bowmasters. Yeah, that's fine. This makes me feel like kind of justified in going for the just cast endurance line. I'll take 3. I don't think I'm playing this land right now. I think this is just ass and planning on flashing in endurance. Wasteland's annoying, but I have extra mana. My opponent knows about endurance spirit guide. No attack. I will cast it end of turn, and I'll happily put these cards back in my opponent's deck. I didn't get wastelanded, which is a huge boon. I don't care about getting wastelanded mid-combat. Am I attacking? I think I'm fine with an attack. Alright, I get 3 for the damage. I'll play the slime. It's a 7/7, casually. No opposition agent or anything. So what's in that hand? It's not removal spells. I guess it could be sorcery speed removal spells. An edict that can target the token specifically. Yeah, you can evoke that grief. You know just about my entire hand, though. I think the Ancient Tomb was the only unknown card. It is unclear to me whether or not that was tactically the correct call. Awkward. So I'm just not the beatdown right now. I try to wait this out. I will cast a Serum Powder and just pass the turn holding back in endurance. And then we'll just hope to draw Slime Against Humanity off the top. And the trample will obliterate my opponent. Alright, no attacks from my opponent. I unfortunately don't have a good play here, so we're going to stare at each other for a little while. I think the staring contest favors me. That's fine. Fatal Push. You got it. I take 4 here. Hey, it's a Slime Against Humanity. That's an 8/8 Trampler. So I've shifted back to the role of the beatdown. Control's fine. Looks like we dodged a Reanimate type card. Osage means that I can play Endurance and clear that graveyard out as well. That's fine. Attack for 8. Opponent's at 7. Gonna lose the city to do this. And we'll just clear this stuff out. I wonder if my opponent wins this one, if they just like don't pitch cast Grief and then just hard cast Grief as a menace creature. I can't think of a reason not to cast this. I'll send in with both. Alright. That puts my opponent to 1. I guess I'll drop a land and pass. Both of these are lethal threats. This one can't be chump blocked. My opponent needs a removal spell for here. They can chump with Bowmasters and then have 1 more turn. You know, we won 2 matches with this deck, and we're competitive in more of them than I thought. Alright, so how are we feeling at the end of this league? Honestly, this was a lot of fun. This deck does something that is powerful. Like, I legitimately believe that we played a Legacy Power level deck today. And I want you all to keep in mind that, like, we played against goblins multiple times, and we were competitive with that deck in terms of, like, the amount of power that we were putting into play. I would not be embarrassed to, like, show up to an FNM and play this deck. Like, this is an awesome meme deck list. I don't exactly know how to improve it. Like, you can mess around with the surgicals in the main deck so that you can, like, on your second slime, just go all in and create an absolutely massive one. I don't know that that's worth going down the card. There are some decisions today that I could have made differently. I could have played Mindbreak Trap versus Goblins more. You just get out of those initial turns and just avoid the absolute nuts, as that's what races me. I'm not sure how I feel about Collector Oof. Maybe that could be better served as something else. We didn't run into the 8-cast style matchups where I would, or painter style matchups where I would really appreciate it, though. It does seem that, like, going down on the Chrome Mox when I play Oof is rough. Like, that is a very real concern. I know we have 24 mana sources in the deck, not counting Serum Powder, but losing the green source when 8 of our mana sources are soul lands is certainly a little bit tricky. I'm going to give this deck the meme seal of approval. I think this deck is a lot of fun. I did some tournament searches for Slime Against Humanity. I found nothing in Legacy. Maybe one of you will be lucky enough to 5-0 with it and go down in history as an absolute legend. Again, if you need your copies of Slime Against Humanity, check out Tales of Adventures, that is toamagic.com, and they will give you free tracked shipping so you know all your slimes are safe. Folks, I hope you all have a wonderful rest of the day. See ya!